Well, Nugget, the grasshopper, and I said this during the BTA campaign before as well, like, the grasshopper is not a bad mech, it just doesn't scale well into later parts of the timeline. Like, unless you can get a lot of clan equipment and stuff and put it in there, then it's not really viable in later time periods in Battletech. Like, it's good in the Succession Wars era, it's good in 3015 when this game starts, it's good in 3025, it's even viable up until 3030, but like, it's an okay heavy mech, but there are many, many heavies that are better. Like, it's not bad, per se, it's just not very good. But at the same time, if you like it, don't let me stop you from liking it. After all, I love the awesome, and most people would argue the awesome is subpar at best. But I don't care, because I love the awesome. Alright, Seer. Well, it was good to see you. Hopefully the app goes well. I know you've been putting in some work on it, so I hope it goes well for you, and hopefully the jank is at a minimum. But thanks for hanging out. Again, I appreciate all the minutes you chose to spend with us, and hopefully the weekend will treat you well, in addition to the app. The only way to improve a mech is to put clan tech in it. It's a pretty fucking good mech. I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. Dragon in sheep's clothing? No, I don't think I will. I think instead we're just gonna do the mission that we came here to do. We're not doing any work for Kurita because, as we have already discussed, they fucking hate us. And as a direct result of that, there's no reason for us to do missions for them. Because we basically get nothing. We get nothing for their missions, including the narrative mission chains. Let's see what mech we're gonna put in, and what is our... Yeah, I was gonna say, our weight is gonna be the problem on this one. So... I think now is the time. We're gonna be over tonnage, but that's okay. I think now is the time to bring out Crab Squad again. And let's see, we will ditch the pilots that don't have good affinity. And we'll put in the pilots that do. Sadly, I find myself relying on the same stable of pilots because we keep relying on the same stable of mechs. But, I think it's alright. So yeah, we're gonna be over tonnage, we're gonna lose some picks. It's not that big a deal. Let's make it hot, chat. Let's make it hot. Yeah, Ernst, in case you missed it, we did pick up a king crab. We picked up one of the hero king crabs earlier today, so, Crab Squad is official now. Like, we got some Starly crabs, and we have the king crab. And we have a new crab emote as well. All right.
Men suspected to be on patrol at one of the marked nav points. Be sure to approach each one with caution, Commander. While the Hatchet Man's signature hatchet is devastating up close, it's more than capable of splitting a mech in two after a handful of blows.
Don't worry, Rihanna. I'm not stupid enough to fight a melee mech at close range. Oh, wait. Wait. Actually, I am. If I remember right, we're gonna run into some hatchet men, and then we're gonna take them out. And then either this mission or one of the other missions later in the chain may actually give us one of them. Yeah, we're gonna give them the clamps. Don't worry. Don't worry. We are absolutely gonna give them the clamps. I want a 100-ton hunchback with 2 or 3 times as many laser slots. I mean, that sounds like something the clans would do.
Target destroyed.
That definitely sounds like a clanner idea. Like, let's take the Hunchback, make it 100 tons, and cram it full of, like, 8 PPCs.
That kill was mine.
100-ton Hunchback is the direwolf. I mean, mechanically, yes. It basically is.
Scrap that one.
The only way to improve the Hunchback is to do what the Clanners did and add a second punch. Yeah, I mean, Clan Ultra AC-20s on either shoulder, like, the only thing more dangerous than the boombox is the double boombox. It's hard to argue with that kind of firepower. Ground armor spotted, hey.
Beetle is on our list of targets. Let's make our quarter.
Alright, so... Yep, there's our hatchet mans. There's our hatchet mans.
Enemy mech destroyed.
We're gonna get him. You know, you would think, with as big as the head is on the hatchet man, that it would be easier to hit him in the head. But you would be wrong. You would absolutely be wrong. Come here, beautiful. Let me give you the clamps.
All targets down. I've given the
There we go.
the all clear to swoop in and salvage the downed hatchet men. Let's get out of here before more Octuran gods
And then
arrive.
you get blowed up.
I have all targets showing up as KIA on my scopes. Great work.
Rihanna, you basically
We've
just said
fulfilled
that.
our contract, Commander. Let's get you out of here now.
Okay.
Wilco, focusing fire.
Well, I guess it's a good thing we didn't stack pole any of those hatchet men. Although I'm sure there's a script somewhere in the mission that makes it impossible for that to happen. Refuse to acknowledge any direwolves and Gauss that is not the tabletop version. Go craply and call it a Hunchback King. I mean, can we please? Can we have a 100-ton Hunchback and call it the Hunchback King? Or the King Hunchback? Have a question. Is the Awesome a good mech? I got the 8Q variants. So the thing about the Awesome, Knight SK, first time chatter by the way, welcome to the stream. The thing about the Awesome is it has one major flaw, and that's its mobility. It's extremely slow, and its torso twist rate is also extremely slow. But it's got great durability, it's easy to maintain, and it can pack a lot of firepower. So it is meant to be a standoff platform. I don't use it that way because I'm an idiot. It is meant to sit back in the back and take up a good position and fire PPCs into the fray. In that role, it's outstanding, especially for the price. Again, it has durability to stand up to counter battery fire. It has the firepower to take on heavies and assaults, especially at long range with the PPCs. And if it does get damaged, you can maintain it easily. And you can buy them for very, very cheap. I think it's like 8 million for a brand new one or something like that. So there's a lot of benefits to the Awesome, but the one complaint that you're gonna hear people say all the time is, oh my god, the Awesome is so slow. And it is. It's stupidly slow. But it's also an assault mech. it's a walking brick of armor with a bunch of big guns in it. So it, like, they had to have a disadvantage somewhere. And the disadvantage is its mobility. As long as you keep it pointed in one direction, firing at the enemy, the awesome is an outstanding machine. So hopefully that answers your question. Why do I not torso twist? Because my brain doesn't work that way. So to put it simply, I play the games that I play in the ways that are fun to me. And I've said this many times before, I'm not especially interested in the meta way to play a game. I'm not especially interested in the right way to play a game. I play a game in the way that entertains me. And to me, you know, that the goofy ass torso twist to avoid taking damage in one location, like, yeah, that's the appropriate way to mitigate damage. I don't want to play that way. I don't like swinging my view back and forth to avoid damage. I'd rather just charge into the enemy. So we go in, max speed, max armor, max firepower, in that order, and come what may. If the mech gets blown up, so be it. But yeah, don't look to me for pointers on how to play this. Like, I can tell you how the mechanics of the game work, but don't watch me playing the game and think that this is the way you should play the game, because it's not. It absolutely is not. Unless you have fun playing it like this, in which case more power to you. I personally enjoy it. I enjoy playing the game this way. Oh yeah, for sure, Sniggle Fritz. The issue that I have, and I've said this before, you'll see me do the AD wiggle often in the game as a byproduct of years of playing first-person shooters, because I'm actually playing with first-person controls. And I know a lot of people will scream blasphemy that that's not the way to do it, that you gotta play it with the classic controls. But I've said before, my brain don't work that way. Like, I tried in my first couple of times playing this game before I ever streamed it. I tried playing with the classic controls with the independent torso twist from the leg movement. My brain don't work that way. What it ended up being was me running into walls and mountains and walking off of cliffs, and half the time not even going in the direction that I wanted to go. Because, yeah, like, again, brain no work good, did not compute, and so I just gave up on that and went with FPS controls. And I've been having fun with it ever since. So, you know, again, for me, it's a matter of, I'm gonna play the game the way that's fun for me, but that's not necessarily the right way or the intended way. Like, go into Mechwarrior Online and play the game like I do, you wouldn't last a minute. Against actual human players that know what they're doing and know how the game mechanics work, you would not last a minute. The only reason that I do as well as I do is because the AI is dumb. And like I said, maybe one day I'll go with the classic controls and do the independent torso twist. I may try to learn the game that way some point, but it ain't today. It is not today. But let's see, what do we got? Those in need, part 2. Let's go ahead and accept that, and then we will get underway, unless... Is it on this planet? It is on this planet. Outstanding. You know I love to see that shit. And once again, I think we'll just go ahead and stick with the same squad. Once more, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And nobody got injured. Everything's in good shape. Let's make it out, chat. Yeah, El Hazard. I mean, that's any free-to-play game, though. Like, in any free-to-play competitive arena, there's always going to be that constant flow of new players that don't really know what they're doing, but are still there because the game is free and they want to see if it's any good. And I would argue that most free-to-play games live and die on that new blood coming in.
Smash and grab to rob them of these supplies. We'll move on the facilities marked on your HUD.
And it's not going to be for everybody. Some people are going to play it and bounce off of it. Like, I can just look at the game, and knowing that it's a competitive PvP game, I can just know that I don't want to play it. Because I'm not a fan of competitive multiplayer games because it breeds, you know, those types of sweat lord mentalities and meta chasing, and like, you basically have to live and breathe the game in order to understand the nerfs and the buffs and what's good and what's not. And, you know, oh, there's this new exploit, and if you turn your torso this many degrees to the right, then you can deflect all damage. Like, I don't... It makes me want to vomit. Like, I don't want to turn the game into a job. I want it to be fun. And if I have to spend all of my time researching the game and everything going on in the game, and, you know, live and breathe the game, then that's work. It's not fun. Oh, get out of the way and stop trying to fight the melee mech in melee, you doofus. Second the game becomes work, it ceases to be a game. Exactly. And that's the reason that I don't really play competitive multiplayer games anymore, because I've had enough of that. Again, the sweat lord mentality, the, you know, I have to be the best and only do the meta things. You know, it's the Call of Duty thing. Like, what's the point? Or even the Battlefield thing. Like, Battlefield 4 is the example I use because it's an example that I'm familiar with. But, like, when the first DLC for Battlefield 4 came out and they added the F2000, and it was so broken that just everybody was using the F2000, and suddenly the game wasn't any fun anymore because that's all anyone ever used. It was everybody using the same class and the same gun all the time. And they eventually balanced it, but, like, it's that kind of mentality of, let's stifle all creative decision making, let's stifle any kind of originality in the way that you play the game in favor of just chasing whatever's meta and whatever's the best. And for those of you, if you watch Second Wind on YouTube, and Second Wind, of course, for those of you that don't know, is the majority of the creative talent from The Escapist back before earlier this year when corporate fuckery caused them all to leave. But if you watch Second Wind at all, they recently, I think just yesterday as a matter of fact, did an episode of Design Delve where they talked about how, like, giving your players all of the information regarding a weapon or a piece of armor's statistics is actually bad for gameplay and originality and the illusion of choice. Because when you can see every stat on a piece of gear, then eventually you get to a point where objectively there's only one best piece of gear. And in order to be competitive, you have to use that gear. And the Battlefield franchise suffered from that, I think, because they gave you that granular information of, yes, this gun does X amount of damage, this gun has this much range, and so on and so forth. And it hurt the competitive edge of the game because then, you know, every gun had a best in slot. And that's like an MMO thing that you hear all the time, is the best in slot gear. And the same thing happened in Battlefield, where eventually it became a matter of there's this one gun that's better than everything else, or is statistically superior in most ways to everything else, and so no one uses anything else. So it helps to have some obfuscation.
Nearly there, Commander.
If everything is OP, nothing is. That's true. That's true. And, you know, back during the debacle of the balance patches for Helldivers 2, that was kind of my point over and over again was, you know, they kept focusing on nerfing the one or two things that were super effective instead of taking the other 30 guns in the game and making them more effective. Like, stop taking the one thing that works and breaking it, and take all the shit that's broken and make it useful. And that's actually part of the reason that I eventually gave up with Helldivers, is because they never really took that lesson to heart. They never really... They didn't take that advice of stop nerfing shit and start buffing shit. Like, stop breaking the things that work and start making the things that don't work. And I just got tired of, like, every time we finally figured out a weapon that was effective against an enemy, then they would either nerf that weapon or buff the enemy. And it's like, well then, like, is the point just to fucking suffer? Is the point to just go in and die and burn through all of your reinforcement budget and fail the mission? Because that doesn't sound like a good time to me. And that it seems like that was the metric that they were constantly going for, where it was like, you know, again, we found out, hey, you can use such and such gun to shoot Devastators in the head. And then they were like, okay, well now we're gonna armor Devastators' heads so that that doesn't work anymore. And we're gonna nerf the gun so that its spread is larger, so that the weapon's not as accurate as it used to be. And again, it's like, why? Correct. Why are we here? Just to suffer? And that's the thing. Like, it did often feel to me like the objective for the devs was to make the game not fun. And there's a difference in making a game challenging and making a game not fun. And it genuinely felt like those choices were made to make the game not fun. World of Warships, yeah. That's part of the reason that I stopped playing World of Warships too, is it's always nerfs, it's never buffs, and when it's buffs to inconsequential shit that doesn't improve the gameplay for anyone except for, you know, the top 1% of players. You know, the original Destiny and Destiny 2 to some extent had the same problem, where you saw the balancing focused around the extremely high-level PvP gameplay, and as a direct result of that, screwing over successful strategies at every level of play. And that's bad. Like, when you're screwing over 95% of your player base to appease the 5% at the very top, that's a bad idea. But that also feeds back into the whale mentality that we were talking about before, where obviously wargaming cares more about their whales than they do about their free-to-play players, because the whales are actually spending money. So that top 5% of players that spend all the money on the game are obviously being catered to in the balance passes, because they're the ones that keep the company afloat. So it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make it any less scummy. But anyway, I think we finished this up, so we get our hatchet man, and we get a medium hatchet to go with it, which is outstanding. But there's another mission as well. I think this was a 3-parter if I remember right. So let's go ahead and we will do the same thing again. We're going to take the same distribution of loot. We will repair up the mechs, and we will jump right back into it, as you do. Oh, come on now. Yeah, once again, the Mechwarrior 5 is very chuggy today. Like, it's taking even longer than usual to start up the repair work on these. I'm a little bit concerned. I hope my computer's not about to die or something. Because that would be my luck. Alright, well, they gave us a little bit of extra tonnage on this one, but we're still going to go with it. So Crab Squad is a go. 13 days to get all the repairs done. Let's make it hot, chat. Let's make it hot. Stop playing Will of Warships and Will of Tanks because they're too arcadey. That's definitely a criticism that I've seen as well. There are definitely people that prefer a more realistic or more sim experience. And the world of games definitely do not provide that. I mean, they can if you use mods or if you play certain game modes, but the default experience is very, very arcadey.
Tobias Klein, son of Defiance Industries board member Emma Klein, has been discovered to be serving with the October
Alright,
Guards.
locate, kill the target.
The
Can do.
independent people of Skye believe that Tobias's current assignment to the Guards is one of the primary reasons why
Oh,
Defiance
and they're
has
giving us
shown
some
such
loot.
favoritism
Outstanding.
towards supplying the unit. They
Give me the
want
loot
him
crate.
and his family's catapult
Give
taken
me
out
the hot
as a way to
loots.
send a message to Defiance's board of directors. Search for Tobias and his catapult at the Martinel points, then prepare for extraction once he's been eliminated.
So, Rihanna, what I'm hearing is go in, kill a dude, make a parking lot. I like it. I like it. That's right in my wheelhouse. Alright, let's see.
Heavy metal on radar.
Yep, alright. We actually have line of sight on these donkeys.
As our targets. We'll have to move on to the next nav point.
But there are locusts here, Brianna. I have to kill the locusts. They move fast, and that catches my peripheral vision, so I have to destroy them.
Target is in the field, Commander.
I'm sorry.
Marked on your tactical
That's
display.
animal brain shit. I don't have any control over it. I can't help what I am. And I saw you turret cartel motherfuckers over here. Don't think I missed that.
New target, Blackjack.
Alright, new target, Blackjack. Where you at? I just seen you.
Target
That's not what I'm looking for. Where's the Blackjack? There you are. No, that's the cicada.
Battle deck is marked for destruction.
target applied.
That kind of hurt a little bit. Would you cut that shit out?
Target destroyed.
Alright, what do we got over here? What do we got over here?
Target applied.
More turret. More turret. Alright, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Get out of the way, doofus. Get wrecked, nerd. Go ahead, take to the skies. Matter of fact, get the clamps.
Has been neutralized.
We had to give him the clamps,
Now let's
chat.
get
We
you
haven't
all
given him the
home.
clamps.
Head to the evac point. Tobias has been taken out. Mission complete. Now, get back to
Wow,
the old
turret
base. I want
cartel's
you
got
out
no
of here.
shame. Look at that. They're just putting the turrets right in the middle of the road now. They don't even give a shit.
Target applied.
No decorum at all. There we go. Run that turret over, and now we get out of here. Now we get out of here.
New target, assassin.
Group target acknowledged.
Get wrecked, nerd! Oh, now you've done it. Now you've done it.
Target destroyed.
Enemy destroyed.
When you're rolling turrets, you can expect to throw them everywhere. I mean, that's true. We joke about the turret cartel all the time. But, like, they're pretty shameless at this point, where they're just like, street corner, turret. Middle of the median, turret. Parking lot, 3 turrets. Like, they don't even give a fuck. They're just like, turrets everywhere. Alright, let's see. Only 7 picks, so we're kind of just... We're just taking what we can here. I guess I'll take some locust salvage. It doesn't really matter. I wasn't really doing this for the salvage. I was mostly just doing it to get it done. Oh, no. Apparently there's a part 4. Let's go do part 4 then.
We're reading heavy weather warnings out there, Commander. Expect limited visibility and sensor malfunctions on this mission.
Once again, thank you, Rihanna, for explaining how low visibility conditions work. I appreciate it. Don't know what I'd do without you, young lady. Gotta have the turrets to deal with those jaywalking scumbags. Yeah. I mean, how else do you got police? How would you police your populace? With, like, some sort of officer of the peace or something? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Just put turrets on every street corner. And Hell's Razor says, time for bed for me. Have fun with stoppy robots. Well, good to have you, Hell's Razor. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you had a good time, and I hope you have an outstanding rest of your weekend. Thanks for choosing to spend some of your Saturday and or Sunday with us. Ruin, yeah, I think maybe Rihanna has some early onset Alzheimer's. It's possible. Too expensive to pay him. Yeah, that's true. It always reminds me of this tweet from Samuel L. Jackson, where he basically said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember his exact wording. But he said if we stopped paying mumble rappers and started paying teachers, we'd have smarter kids and less shitty music. And I kind of feel the same way about cops, where it's like, you know, if we actually paid cops a decent salary to do what they do, we'd probably have a lot less shitty cops. In the United States, anyway. I mean, I can't speak to police in other nations because I've never been to any other countries besides the United States, but here in the US, if a police officer was able to make a decent salary without having to work a desk, I think they would absolutely do a better job and we would have a lot less problems than we do now. Same thing with teachers. I mean, I think we would have a much better public education system if we paid our teachers better. But you can't expect a teacher to be willing to put in a 12-hour day, 6 days a week, and make less than a fucking manager at a McDonald's and still be passionate about the job. Especially when the majority of teachers are salaried and they don't get overtime, so yeah, they may be putting in 12-hour days 6 days a week, but they're still making bullshit money. So, like, yeah, it's what do you expect? But that's dangerously close to politics, and we don't do politics here. Oh, come on now. There we go. Oh, we're doing the clamps? Give him the clamps. Give him the clamps. I'm always down for some fisticuffs. Come here, nerd. Get clamped. Oh, I missed with that one. I guess they took him out before I could hit him with the second one. Okay, are we... Oh, yep, we're demolishing. I forgot for just a second whether we were demolishing or protecting the base. We are, in fact, demolishing. Oh my god, what? Terrain 2 OP, please nerf. Alright, here we go. The OSHA inspections are underway. Let's get in here. Let's get these walls down so we can have a look at what's going on underneath. Check out the structural integrity. Gotta check the plumbing, electrical. You know how it is, chat. You know how it is.
We're making progress.
Gotta make sure these
There's still
people
a
are
long
safe.
way to
The only
go.
way to do that
Keep at it, everyone.
is to make sure that we inspect every square inch of this building.
Enemies have sapped our fuel reserves.
That Vito is on our list of targets. Let's make our quarter.
Target destroyed.
Oh, come on now. There we go. There we go.
Detecting targeted bottleneck in the area.
Oh, yeah? Well, let's get him.
Attack.
Let's get him then. Space OSHA does not mess around. You damn right. We take our job serious. Somebody's got to. Motherfuckers out here building stuff up. Like, look at it. Look at this. These are stackable tenements. There is no way that this is structurally sound. You can't be having people living in something like this. That's ridiculous. We gotta tear all this down for safety. For safety, chat. Think of how dangerous it would be if somebody was inside one of those and somebody were to just go walking through it.
Destroyed.
Can't be having that. That's how people get hurt, chat.
Acquired.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I missed a couple. Gotta make sure to be thorough. Gotta be sure to be thorough.
Generator.
Wouldn't want to leave any of those things standing. They're a structural and health hazard, so we gotta make sure that we bring them all down. Can't potentially leave any of them for people to accidentally get inside of.
Smashing.
They're taking out the fuel reserves. Enemy destroyed.
Man, I don't remember this base being this difficult to destroy, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, inspect. Yeah, they're also building in a war zone. I mean, you know, that's a valid argument as well. If they were building in a safer place, a lot of this could have been avoided. You know, you hate to see it.
New target.
Oh, come here. There we go.
Target destroyed.
One of our assigned targets is flying in.
Doing a teaching degree, wanted to be a cop, and decided to get the degree as a backup after university. She joined the force, trained, did her first 3-year posting. She quit because of how shitty her superiors were and the harassment she was subjected to by her work rates. I absolutely believe it. I mean, that matches. That matches a lot of the horror stories that I've heard about, especially women in the force, but I mean, men go through a lot of the same shit too. And especially here in the US, I mean, with the militarization of police, it's one of those things where it's like, and I've said this before, but to a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
One down.
And when so much of modern police training focuses on the idea that criminals are the enemy, and then you realize, oh no, criminals can be everywhere,
Place has been
then that means, by extension, everyone is potentially an enemy. And it leads to this adversarial relationship with the public where police are viewed with suspicion because they treat everyone else with suspicion. And it's not a healthy relationship for either side of the equation. How over budget is this Warzone building contract? I mean, if you've ever dealt with the military-industrial complex general quarters, then you know. Most famously joked about in the movie Independence Day, the good one. About how, you know, people honestly believe that the government spends $50,000 on a toilet seat. No, not at all. Alright, let's see. We can grab a spider. We can actually grab some mechs with the salvage picks that we have this time around, so I'll take it. As a performance bonus, have some more melee weapons. I believe I will. Holy crap, I don't... Chad, was this mission chain always this long? I don't remember it being this long. Am I remembering wrong? Wait a minute, Travis. Hold on a second. Let me see if I get this right. Are you trying to tell me that in a police women's locker room, they weren't all walking around in lace lingerie and having pillow fights? Are you trying to tell me that there was not a single bare-ass boob or lace stocking to be seen? Because if that's what you're trying to tell me, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I refuse to believe that that's even a possibility. I'm sorry. No, lies. Absolutely fucking lies, falsehood. Nope, I refuse to believe it. Refuse to believe it. Boo this man, he lies. He sits upon a throne of lies and deceit. All right. Are we on to this? We're yeah, it's like what do you mean police changing rooms aren't like they are in porno? I mean in the movies. What is this bullshit?
Bad news, Commander. Extreme weather conditions.
All right, maybe part 5 is the end. This feels like a show that should have ended like 3 seasons ago, but they keep it going for the money. Like that's what this mission chain feels like. It feels like it should have been over a while ago, but we're still doing it. Hopefully number 5 is the end. All right, here we go. Once again, same lance, same mechs, same pilots. Let's make it hot, Chad. Look up warrior training if you want to lose faith in humanity. I mean, I try to have faith in humanity rather than lose faith in humanity. In my experience,
Reactor online.
most people, the vast majority of people, and this includes, yeah, like police officers and stuff, like the vast majority of people are good at heart and want to do good. It's just that we live in a world that is increasingly forcing us to only look out for ourselves. Because, you know, and there was a lot of discourse around this back when 40K Rogue Trader came out, where people were complaining that, like, doing the right thing didn't reward you, and oftentimes doing the right thing actually hurt you personally or the people around you. And it's like, yeah, that's the actual price of altruism. In reality, you don't get rewarded for doing the right thing 9 times out of 10. That's the whole point. That's why, you know, the whole thing with police, right? Like, here's people that are out here trying to do the right thing, and
Destroyed.
everyone and everything is out there working against them. And, you know,
Destroyed.
whatever desire you have to do the right thing can often be overwritten or overrode by the inability to do those things without, you know, being hurt or taking losses. But again, we, that is Western society, has largely been trained by the media to expect that doing the right thing is its own reward or is always the most rewarding outcome. And often that is not the case. Like being the good guy and doing the right thing is often the least rewarding outcome for most people. But that's why it's so hard to do, and that's why it's so uncommon. And that's why, you know, when people do good, I think it's that much more worthy of praise because it is a hard thing to do, especially consistently. And that's why, you know, you've heard me say before, and I'll say again, like, most cops are good. Most cops are out there trying to do the right thing, and they're putting their life on the line to do it every day. But the good cops aren't the ones that make the 6 o'clock news. It's the bad cops. It's the corrupt cops. It's the ones that abuse their power that you hear people tell stories about. That, you know, get articles written about them. That get expose tell-alls written about them. Good cops don't end up in murder trials. So, like, that's the thing, is because all of the media that the average person is exposed to is negative regarding police, it breeds an overall negative association. Even though, again, the vast majority of police officers are out there doing the right thing and trying to help people.
Mech spotted.
Oh, here we go. Are these actually the targets? Because I remember when we did this during the vanilla campaign, we had an issue where one of these mechs basically just ran off somewhere. And we spent 10 minutes running around looking for him. So hopefully that will not be the case this time around. Go into the darkness. Thank you.
New target Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt. Come on, guys. Focus fire.
I'm not reading any more hostiles in the area.
All right, there we go. Yeah, this was much easier this time around.
Salvage teams the all clear to begin recovery operations. No doubt they will be happy to see the guards lose the lion's share of their hatchet men to this operation. I'm inbound for pickup now.
So, where are we going, Rihanna? Alright, alright, alright. Get clamped.
Destroyed.
So maybe we are gonna have that problem. Maybe we are gonna have that problem. Let's see. So I think we went over here. Oh. Alright. I guess that was it. I guess it was just delayed. It took the game a second to realize that we were done. Alright, let's see. 7 picks. We can take an Irby, and what else? I guess we take a Hatchet Man salvage. Call it a day. There's some small pulse lasers, but they were tier 0, so I'm just gonna leave those. And there's the Assassin. Outstanding. Does that mean, okay, we're actually done. We're actually done with that extended season. So many filler episodes in that season, chat. I swear. So is it gauche to ask where you got your model? Not at all. And I don't often talk about the behind the scenes stuff about the stream and all that, but I'm willing to explain it for folks that are curious. I made this model from a base. I do have some 3D modeling experience. And so I started with a 3D model and modified it, made some clothes and other things for it. So this is 99% original. I rigged up the model myself. I've put in the physics myself. I've done all the transfer over to the software that allows me to use it as an avatar. I pretty much taught myself all of the skills that I needed to know in order to do what you see in front of you. A year ago, I had never streamed in my life. I had never even considered it seriously. And, you know, I just started teaching myself in my spare time. So that's the short version. Where I got my model is from my brain and my fingertips. Especially when, you know, you have people that... yeah, it is. It is a Blender model. I do all of my modeling in Blender, Travis. But like, you see, a lot of VTubers will use, I'm just gonna sell this assassin. It's not a special one. There's not really any reason to keep it, so I'm just gonna sell it. But you'll see that, like, a lot of VTubers will use what they call live 2D as their avatar. And they do that for a bunch of different reasons. Number one, it's easier. Number two, it's a lot less resource intensive for your machine. I have, especially depending on the game, like, because I'm using full 3D rendering and stuff like that for this avatar, I do occasionally have performance issues, especially with games that are a little more graphically intensive. Like, in order to play Helldivers on stream, I had to turn the settings way, way down in order to make it function. Once upon a time, I tried to play Cyberpunk for the stream, but I wasn't able to do that because Cyberpunk is hilariously unstable in terms of performance, and it's also a resource hog, and I just was not able to effectively run it while also running VTuber software. So, you know, the reason that you see people using Live 2D is because it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot easier. Like, if you want to make a brand new outfit for a Live 2D model, all it takes is an artist and a couple of weeks. And that's it, you're done. I mean, yeah, there's rigging involved, I'm paraphrasing here, but like, for me, doing all this myself, if I want to do a new outfit, I have to brainstorm, I have to come up with sketches, I have to decide what I want the outfit to look like, then I have to prototype it, I have to skin it on the model, I have to put textures on it. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into a 3D model that isn't necessarily part of the 2D or Live 2D pipeline. And it's a lot easier to add and modify a live 2D model than a 3D model. That's why, so far on stream, you have only ever seen one alternate outfit that I have actually gotten working. And I have been working on another one for a long time, but the issue with that is because of my job search, I have not had as much free time to spend on working on 3D modeling as I did when I first started this journey. But yeah, like, and that's the thing, is when you look at a lot of the bigger VTubers, just wondering, is your hair that color in real life? Not this exact color, but I do have blonde hair. I mean, obviously it's an anime-styled avatar, so I have exaggerated some things, but the avatar is not dissimilar from the actual me. But like, when you look at a lot of the big MeTubers, especially like the V Shoujo, the Niji Sanji, back when that was still a thing before they imploded, and the Hot Will Live girls and things like that, like, you see them. Sorry, Chet. And I've said this before, like, all those girls are incredibly talented. But at the end of the day, they don't have to worry about their model. They don't have to worry about new outfits. They don't have to worry about that side. They don't have to worry about the VTuber side of things. And that's okay. Like, I don't necessarily have a problem with the fact that they have an agency backing them. But like, to do this independently on your own, like I have, and not only to do it independently, but to do it for free. Like, I have not spent any money on this other than, you know, getting a webcam, buying a better microphone so that I don't sound like shit. You know, just like things like that. I've only spent a few $100s on this stream, and everything else has been free. You know, I use Blender, which is free software. I use Unity, which is free. I use, you know, free sound editing software so that I can clean up my voice so that it doesn't sound like shit. I use free video editing software to edit down all the VODs and everything that I post on YouTube. Streamlabs is 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. So, like, for me, this was a challenge of, what can I do without spending a cent? Without dumping a bunch of money into it? Because there are people out there that try to make a career out of this, and I'm just doing it as a hobby. But there are people out there that spend, you know, $1,500 commissioning an artist to do artwork for their character, and then spend another $500 to $2,000 getting somebody to rig that avatar. And then, you know, they spend a bunch of money on backgrounds, and they spend a bunch of money on branding and licensing and all that shit. And all in, you're spending $5, $10, $15,000 on this setup, and you're not even sure if it's gonna work. Like, you might put in all that money and effort, and no one, like, I've seen so many people on Reddit and on different forums and things like that that will be like, help me, I spent all of this money on my avatar and all of this money on the artwork and blah, 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 and now nobody's coming to my streams. What do I do? And it's like, well, you kind of put the cart before the horse. You were so focused on creating this character to inhabit, you never thought about creating a community that's actually gonna watch you. And then you end up in a situation, or they end up in a situation where, you know, they become this sort of game of the week streamer, chasing trends, like, oh, well, let's go play Lethal Company because that's popular. Let's go play, you know, Among Us because that's popular. Let's go play the new fucking Cyberpunk because that's popular. And, like, they end up being trend chasers, and it doesn't get them any viewership because they're doing the same thing that half of Twitch is already doing. And so that's one of the things that I see most often. And especially, like, and I've told you guys before, but I have had other VTubers that contacted me specifically because I had a relatively large amount of success in a very short period of time. And people were asking me, like, you know, how did you do that? What did you do? And I said, you know, the advice that I gave them was, more often than not, like, I went out there, I'm myself, I'm just being myself on stream. I'm not trying to play the popular games. I'm playing the games that I want to play. I'm showing off my own knowledge of those games. I'm talking about the nerd shit that I want to talk about. Like, I have created a community of like-minded individuals that enjoy being here and enjoy this content. And so, yeah, if the model's not professional quality, oh well. If the sound isn't professional quality, oh well. If my gameplay isn't professional level, oh well. Because at the end of the day, you guys are here for me, and you're here for the community. And that's what I wanted to build. Like I've said before, I don't want to be some giant streamer. I don't want to be an XQC or an Amaranth. I don't even want to be, like, you know, a Sequisha or a Clean, even though I really like them as content creators. Like, I don't want to be like them either and stream to, like, 2,000 people, because you don't feel like part of a community with that many people. Like, I want you guys to feel like you're part of something here. And that's always been my goal. Like I said, this is a hobby. This is not a job. And that's why I don't stream more. For the people that have asked me before, like, why do you only stream 1 day a week? That's the answer. Because I'm doing this as a hobby. Like, I'm doing this in between other things. And I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I gotta put food on the table, and this doesn't do that. And I'm not saying that because I expect you guys to suddenly, you know, gift 1,000 subs and pay my bills. Like, that's not the objective. But at the end of the day, like, in the sense of priorities, like, employment, income comes first, and then this comes after as a way to not only entertain myself, but also entertain you guys. Because I have fun doing it, but I want you guys to have fun being here as well. And so for me, it's, you know, I'm not out here trying to get sponsorships. I'm not out here trying to play the new hot game, because I don't give a shit about any of that. Like, I'm gonna play the stuff that I want to play so that I have a good time. And if you guys want to be here and watch and interact and have a conversation with me while I do that, then hey, that's great. That's a win-win situation for everybody. But, you know, I've said many times before, like, I'm not gonna play a game that I don't want to play just because it's popular. I'm not going to, you know, broach topics that I don't want to talk about just because that's the thing to talk about. That's why politics and religion are not allowed in the channel, because, as I say in the rules, much has been said about both, and little was of consequence. So, like, you know, I could drum up controversy, I could shake my digital cans, I could get risque and all that, but, like, that's not what I'm here to do. again, I'm here to have a good time, and I'm here to hopefully help you have a good time as well. And that's the long and short of it. So, like I said, for me, I guess I have a little bit of a different perspective on VTubing as a whole, because I have done all this by myself. Like, I don't have editors. No one helped me with my model. No one helped me with the sound. No one helped me set up Streamlabs. Like, I tried to do it all myself. And if I had a problem and I said, I don't know how to do X, then I went and looked it up. I went and found the resources, or I asked people. One of the things that I talk about often is when I was first setting up this model, like, you guys have seen this before, but I'll show you again. Like, I can do this, right? Like, I can toggle different parts of this outfit on and off. I also have different expressions that I can do as well, but I hardly ever use them because I'm lazy. But, like, I didn't know how to do any of that initially, and I went out and asked a couple of VTubers that worked in 3D, and I was like, how do you actually do that? How do you make that work? And I got some advice and stuff like that. Like, the community was very, very helpful in helping me understand what I was doing wrong and what I needed to do to accomplish the thing that I was trying to do. And that's all self-taught knowledge. Like I said, a year ago, I had never even considered streaming seriously before. And here we are 8 months after I started, and suddenly it's almost like I know what I'm doing. I don't want to give myself too much credit. But, it's almost like I have some familiarity with this and I know what I'm doing now. And Nugget donating 1,000 Bezos bucks, saying it isn't 1,000 gift subscriptions, but thank you for a wonderful afternoon. Well, I appreciate it, Nugget. And again, the most important to me is that you guys are having a good time. I don't want you to be here, and again, that's why I'm very taboo about certain subjects, because, like, the real world sucks, by and large, and I don't want you to be in a place where... I don't want you to be in a place where you feel like it's just another day in the world. Like, I want you to have a good time. I want us to be here and talk about Battletech. I want us to talk about, hentai games. I want us to talk about, how I like my coffee black and all over my lap. I want us to talk about goofy shit. I want everybody to have a good time. And I know that there are some of you, there's veterans out there. There's people with health issues out there and stuff like that. And, like, I want you to be able to forget about that for a little while, because we all need an escape from the depressing bullshit in our lives. And all of us have depressing bullshit in our lives. And so, like, I want this to be a place, I want this community to be a place where you can forget about all that. And you can just, sit here and talk about nerd shit and have a good time for a little while. And even if I can only give you that once a week, to me, at the end of the day, I feel like that little reprieve is better than none at all. Wouldn't miss the cult of bad tactical decisions. Well, I mean, that's the idea. And that's the thing, too. Like, we talk about the cult of bad tactical decisions. That was you guys. That was the community that came up with that. Like, I was not the one who coined that phrase. Somebody in the community did, and I just leaned into it. Like, I was like, yeah, this is basically a cult where we do all the things wrong. And again, we just leaned into it and it's become a thing. That was all you. And that's what I mean. Like, I want this community to be as much about you guys as it is about me. Because, again, I've said a million times before, I'm just the monkey putting on the show. You guys make this community what it is. Because without you, I'm just one whack job screaming into the void. So, you guys being here and choosing to spend your time here is what makes this valuable to me. And hopefully it's what makes the community valuable to you. As long as the coffee ain't decaf, none of it's heretical. I mean, that's, yeah. Well, what is the point of coffee if it's decaf? I don't understand that. That's like people that drink non-alcoholic beer. I hate beer. Beer is gross. Why would you drink beer if you're not getting drunk? Yeah, and Travis, that's why I put out that video. And I was extremely vague in that drama video. And I don't I think internet drama is stupid. But, like, that was the thing that made me mad more than anything, was that here were these other VTubers that were trying to get into Battletech, and maybe they were inspired by me, maybe they were chasing my coattails, maybe they saw the success that I had, and they thought that they could ride that to some success of their own. And like I said in that video, like, I wish them all the luck in the world. Again, at the end of the day, Battletech is a hell of an iceberg. And the ones that contacted me, I told them, I said, you know, this is a very deep rabbit hole. It has a very polarizing fan base. There are a lot of folks that have been playing this game for twice as long as you have been alive. So understand that if you're going to start down this rabbit hole, if you're going to start investigating that iceberg, there's a lot of history there. And, you know, I didn't say that to try to scare them, but I said it because I wanted them to understand, like, you are dipping a toe into a much deeper pool than you realize. And as long as you go in with that knowledge, and you go in with an open mind, and you go in with an enthusiasm for the setting, and the lore, and the, you know, the game itself, you'll find plenty of people that are willing to welcome you. And again, I told them very clearly, like, if you're just doing this to clout chase, if you're just doing this because you saw some popular videos on Battletech and you think you can ride that, don't. Because it's not going to work out for you. And then, you know, again, some people saw those VTubers, they were like, oh, how dare VTubers try to stream Battletech? And I was like, you know, don't hate on these people for being new. That's not the solution to the problem. Like, people just assume because they're VTubers and they don't know anything about Battletech that they must, like, that their intentions aren't genuine, right? That they don't have a genuine interest in the setting. Absolutely not the case. I'm sure there were plenty of people that were skeptical about me the first time they saw me, until they sat down and actually watched a stream for 10 minutes and realized, oh shit, I'm not just talking out my ass, I'm not just playing the game because this is the flavor of the week, like, I actually know Battletech, I know at least a little bit about it. I'm not an expert, and I don't have nearly as many years in it as some of you guys do, but it's not a passing fancy for me, it's something that I have enjoyed for a very long time. And hopefully that shows in the content that I produce. You know, like, it is something that I have played before, it's something that I'm familiar with, it's something that I can speak with some experience on. But at the same time, I'm willing to acquiesce. There have been plenty of times, again, go back and look at some of the older streams where, you know, people would school me on stuff and I'm like, hey, you know what? I didn't even know that, so I learned something today. I am more than happy to admit that I'm wrong or that I don't know something. And so, you know, I haven't checked in on a lot of those VTubers that I was talking to during that video, or in reference to that video, but I hope that they have done well for themselves. I hope that they have found their own audience within Battletech. Anyway, Jesus. I just realized how long I've been sitting here flapping my jaws. Good lord. Let's actually get back to the robot action, shall we? Son of a bitch. I apologize, chat, for anybody that found all that excruciating or boring. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent like that, but you guys got me started. Let's see, where were we? We had just finished up our filler arc of those in need, so now we need to hit the operations room, get to the objective logs, and I think X marks the spot was the next one that we were going to. Yeah, alright, cool. So that's what we were doing. Let's see, we've got a transmission here on the way, so let's stop in there, see what that transmission about. And then we'll head over to the other mission. We'll go to X marks the spot. Alright, Ruinistar, but good to see you. Go get you some food. I don't know if we'll be live by the time you get back, but if not, I hope you had a good time here. Thanks for coming in the raid as well, and any other raiders that are still out there. Thank you and welcome. And hopefully you have an outstanding rest of your weekend. Time to be pirates. Is that what we're doing? I think we like your tangents. Well, I hope so. I mean, again, I'm always willing to talk about, you know, some of the stuff behind the scenes if you guys want to listen. But I'm always cognizant of the fact that, you know, again, I value y'all's time. I really do. Because like I say all the time, you don't have to be here. You can spend your time doing anything. You don't have to spend it here. And so I want to make sure that I am valuing the time that you choose to spend here. So like, if there's ever a point where you're like, oh man, this is boring, shut the fuck up, like, let me know. Cause I don't want to bore you. I don't want you to like feel like you're watching the stream against your will or that you're a captive audience. So, you know, if you guys like to hear it, then I'm happy to talk about it, but I don't want to force it on you either. Anyway, the mission here is an elite pilot, which, like I said before, I don't think we're going to recruit any more pilots unless we lose some. Because we're already having an issue with getting the players, or I'm sorry, getting the chatters into missions. So, I don't think we're going to recruit any more pilots this time around. We need more mech-on-mech action. The hydraulic fluids and coolants must flow. Absolutely. And that is what we are going to do. What? God damn it. Is that just going to be there forever now because I saw that? Okay, we'll accept it. I'm not going to do it. And there's X marks the spot. Difficulty 60. And we are looking to move up in the world. Mercenary. Question work. Help us restock our supplies by borrowing from some nearby settlements. There might be something more in it. Okay, so we are actually doing piracy. How about that? So whoever said that, they were right. And King Panzer says hello, hello. Well, hello to you as well, King Panzer, and welcome to the stream on a Saturday. Good to see you. Glad to have you. And thanks for coming to spend some time with us. Looks like you got gifted a sub as your first time chatter, so congratulations on the gift sub, and welcome to the Cult of Bad Tactical Decisions. Found you from YouTube. Yeah, I get that a lot. So welcome from the YouTube lands. Hopefully you enjoy the content over there, and congratulations on catching us live. We're always glad to see more people make it over from the YouTube lands where we have the archive and actually join us for some live gameplay. If you are watching the content over on the YouTube, I will give you fair warning that we're between 3 and 5 weeks ahead of whatever the latest content to release over there is. So there will be a little bit of a gap. You might be confused. But again, it's Battletech, so pretty much every mission boils down to go over there and kill that dude. So you're not missing a whole lot. But let's see. Pirates don't like us very much, but we're still getting decent picks. I'll take it. We'll go with 27 salvage shares. I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into.
Is in effect, Commander. You'll have limited visibility out there and have to contend with sensor malfunctions.
Once again, Rihanna, thank you for explaining low visibility conditions to me. That tactical acumen is paying off. Let's see. We got 340 tons to play with, so we could go awesome and Battlemaster. But we already did awesome and Battlemaster. I feel like we should do something else. We kind of been like doing the same thing and not like mixing it up all that much. So let me, god damn it, hold on, Chad. Apologies once again. I feel like, you know, at this point, at 5:30 in the evening, when most of the rest of the landscaping guys are done, this asshole just from across the parking lot beelines straight for my door, sticks the nozzle under the door frame, and just blows into my fucking apartment. Like, come on, dude. Anyway, we are in fact gonna do Mad Squad, so let's see. I know we have some pilots that are familiar with the baseline Marauder. Let's go ahead and put Aetherin in the Mad 2, because that'll be the one that I'm piloting. We got General Quarters. Let's put in Sereni. Sereni hasn't done much. We haven't put in Mara either, so we'll go ahead and put in Mara. And, yeah, there we go. I think we got a decent squad set up here. Let's make it hot, chat. Let's see. We got 2 Marauders that need to earn their colors today. So let's see if they do. And don't think I missed you. Sergeant Death 71. subscribing with Twitch Prime. For those that don't know, Amazon Prime lets you subscribe to one Twitch channel for free, and I appreciate you using that Prime here. So thank you for the Prime sub, Sergeant Death, and welcome to the cult of Untactical Decisions.
Okay, Commander. We just received a message from our contact.
Gotta do weapon groups. Alright, so we got large laser, we got large short burst laser, and then we got laser over the head. I'm gonna put the punch... I'm gonna put the punch on, but we shouldn't be punching with this.
For this operation, some guy named Yaros Rigas. Patching in the feed now.
Let's see.
I'm assuming you're arriving at
I think this'll work.
coordinates I sent your CO. No hard feelings.
Oh god.
We're to put you through an initiation to verify that you're as good as Spears is telling us. We need you to raid a number of storage facilities in the area that the locals here rely on. Mainly to draw their defenses away from the food and medical storehouses, allowing us to pillage and resupply. Don't feel bad for the locals. There'll be another shipment on its way soon enough.
Target is down.
So, Sereni, in reference to your statement, are you trying to suggest that I should be paying you to sit around and do nothing? Because, last I checked, every Mechwarrior is supposed to be capable of fighting, so you complaining about me complaining that you haven't done anything this stream sounds like you're trying to get out of work. That's just how it sounds to me. Oh, we're getting hit by other vehicles. Please get out of my way.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Good job, Sereni. Good job. Pretty sure Urs has something to do with me not getting on many missions. Wait, now, not only are you trying to dip out of work, now you're making excuses and blaming other people? Good lord, Sereni. Have you no shame? My god.
Target destroyed.
I swear, it's you just getting worse and worse. Worse by the minute. I'm disappointed. In fact, I'm so disappointed. There might be a pay cut in your future. What the hell? Oh, that's why. I phrased that. Oh, now we're backpedaling. Now we're backpedaling. Changing the script now. I see how it is.
Right on cue. VTOL on
I'll be
approach.
honest. This Marauder 2 is actually doing pretty good in terms of
Enemy destroyed.
the heat dissipation. I was expecting it to run much hotter than it is with this many large lasers on board. Quite sure that my speech patterns have created a bias that keeps me on the bench longer than standard periods of time. Oh, come on now. Come on now. You hear my voice all the time. Trust me, I don't discriminate based on accent.
Target destroyed.
Besides, if you're gonna try and pull the discrimination card, then you're gonna have to take that up with your local MRB union representative, because I am not an HR department, alright? I don't handle that shit. Excuse you? You've chosen death! Enjoy 5 large lasers.
Target acquired.
Target acknowledged.
Target destroyed.
Oh, there's a mech.
Got it.
Light 'em up, boys. Light 'em up. Render him into the past tense, please. In fairness, being an Igor pilot means they have had death chosen for them. I mean, that's true. That's true. I call the VTOLs lemmings for a reason. The Igors just happen to be a little more annoying because most of the time they're packing an AC-5 instead of an AC-2.
So let's make this look good.
Something war crimes? That's pretty much all I heard.
Target destroyed.
Did you take down a VTOL? You did not? Why do you suck?
New target.
Shared target identified.
And give him the full alpha. There we go. There we go. So many vehicles. Good lord. All right, let's run this building over.
Target down.
Enemy mech eliminated.
Just imagining living on rations alone. So it's funny because so I told you guys I was playing a little bit on a Project Zomboid community server. Son of a bitch! Go into the darkness. And one of the mods that we have on that server is the MRE mod. And I started calling them shit bricks. And everybody else just kind of picked up on that. And now everybody's calling MRE shit bricks.
This here's mother. I done whooped him good.
Alright, there we go. Finally cleared out all the vehicle shaft. Good lord. Are you winning? Dynamo, I guess, yeah, technically. I mean, I don't know if you ever really win at Mechwarrior, but we're making more money than we're losing. And I think that's the best, you can hope for in the mercenary career field. I mean, I don't know if I told you guys before, but I used to eat rations on purpose. When I was still relatively young and out of high school, I was just eating a lot of rations that I would buy from the Army surplus store because, like, it was cheap and it was fast. And so, like, when I would go to work, I would just take rations with me for lunch. And that's what I would eat for lunch every day.
Mother here. I done whooped him good.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Heat critical.
Man, so many vehicles. Good lord. Well, we got the headshot.
Target destroyed.
Alright, there we go. And again. Fucking VTOLs.
Target received.
No, I don't think I will. Take your SRM bullshit somewhere else, please.
Target destroyed.
Target is down.
Alright.
Target acquired.
Good work, Mara. Good work. UK sausage and bacon ration is too good. Also miss the days where generic foodstuffs were in white packaging with black wording instead of being store-specific branding. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I live in Texas, so we have the kind of famous / infamous grocery store chain locally called HEB. And they're kind of like Whataburger in that regard, as in like they're well known even outside of Texas, not because they exist outside of Texas, but because everybody from Texas talks about them. And in my experience, the HEB brand stuff is usually just as good as name brand stuff, but like 2/3 the price. And I sure as hell can't say that about, you know, Walmart or Albertsons or Randall's or, you know, whatever your regional equivalent is, like Kroger's or something like that.
Single line message of meet you here. I've got it stored in our nav computer if you want to continue with this.
Yeah, see, Pugs Hunter, it reminds me of I guess it's a tweet that I saw recently on the Twitter machine, where it was basically just this guy sitting in a car, and I guess he had just gotten out of prison after like 20 years, and he's just sitting in his friend's car in a Walmart parking lot, and he's eating a Big Mac for the first time in 20 years, and the man is just sobbing, like he is having a fucking religious experience, eating a cheeseburger for the first time in 20 years. Alright, Kodiak, well, good to see you. Glad to have you. Thanks for hanging out with us. And hopefully you had a good time, and hopefully we'll see you again. As always, I appreciate every minute you chose to spend with us today, and I hope that the rest of the weekend treats you well. Yeah, HEB, Max, HEB makes some outstanding ice cream. Like, everybody thinks of like Bluebell and things like that when they think of like Southern ice cream, but HEB is outstanding. It is so fucking good. Like, I almost won't eat other types of ice cream. I will occasionally grab like a tub of Ben & Jerry's at a convenience store on the way home if I'm feeling like a fatty, but like if I'm gonna buy a whole half gallon of ice cream, it's gonna be the HEB brand. They call it Creamy Creations. Shit is great. Had knees pop back, getting off the toilet after nearly crapped my spine out. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go. There's a lot of ways to go out there. Gotta be careful. Dropping them deuces, they can be dangerous.